Now, theory suggests that the Egyptians built these pyramids, but this asks us how the Egyptians hauled 20-ton stones and placed them perfectly hundreds of feet high, 481 feet at its highest point. Some suggest they built a ramp with stones that went from the ground all the way up to the top. Now, the flaw in this theory is that it would take more rocks to build these ramps than it would to build the pyramids themselves. When the pyramid was done, where did these rocks that held up the ramps go? Well, so much for that theory. Another question is, how did they move these extremely heavy rocks? Now, experts that insist that Egyptians built the pyramid suggest that trees were cut down and smoothed off and were used as giant rollers underneath these 20-ton rocks. Now, if you would actually roll a 20-ton rock on 5 trees, the tree would be too worn down and awkward to haul another rock. So these logs would have to be replaced every time they placed a stone. Due to the fact that there are over 100,000 stones that make up the pyramid, you would need in excess of 500,000 trees to accomplish this. Well, the problem with this theory is the lack of trees in the area. Now, Egypt grows some date trees, but that's about it. And they certainly wouldn't have cut down all their date trees, because dates were one of the main foods of the Egyptians at the time. Now, the Great Pyramid was the biggest and tallest of all pyramids ever built. Since the Egyptians left us an entire detailed written summary of pretty much every event in Egypt imaginable, you would think that building the greatest pyramid would be discussed, but it is not. The pyramid is referred to a few times in very early hieroglyphics. Egyptian writings suggest that the Great Pyramid was standing before Egyptians populated the land. Ancient hieroglyphics have detailed writing of farming, giving birth, pharaoh worship, hunting, building structures, etc., but the building of the greatest pyramid ever was never mentioned. Now, it really makes you wonder if it really did take 10,000 workers per month over a 20-year span to build these pyramids like the experts suggest, but there simply wouldn't be enough people in a 500-mile radius to make this possible at all. Now, actually, ancient Egyptian writings were often talk of beings from the sky opening up and bright lights coming down to teach them technology and give them wisdom. Many pictures and symbols resemble UFOs and aliens. Now, possibly aliens actually built the Great Pyramid, and these solid, long-lasting construction techniques were adopted by the Egyptians. Ancient Egyptian legends tell of Tep-Zepi, or the quote-unquote first time. This is described as an age when sky gods came down to earth and raised the land from mud and water. They supposedly flew through the air in flying boats and brought laws and wisdom to man through a royal line of pharaohs. Now, of course, all of this was thrown out the window when Christianity came along. Also, keep in mind that gods were the one and only religion that there was at the time. No other conflicting beliefs? Why was that? Well, because at the time it was a fact and not just faith. The modern church would have you believe that it's just a myth, but you have to ask yourself, at the edge of Occam Razor, what truly indeed is more likely? That a very advanced alien race came down and altered the gene pool like all other ancient cultures concur with? Or that a bearded spirit in the sky basically went zap and created us in 6 days, and then kicked back on the 7th. So, a fascinating news story out of Egypt. And again, the doctor that said that, quote-unquote, something out of this world lies within the Great Pyramid is the head of Cairo University's archaeology department. So, I would venture to say they didn't hire a quack to lead their archaeology department. Very interesting story, and we've had some conversations on the forum at the website there, alienaddictions.com, about this. And it goes on both sides, like most things there at alienaddictions.com. Some truly believe that the Egyptians did this. Me, personally, I think this article says it all. I find it highly impossible, and I also find it amazing that the pyramids are located at the exact center of the Earth's landmass. They also face precisely north, south, east, and west at a time that allegedly there wasn't even a compass. I would say the problem is, the bottom line is that we have this idea in 2010, most of us do, that humanity has a long history of evolution. And of course evolution is real, and some of it is assisted by outside beings. But we have this impression that there's one gradual upward slope in human history, and we slowly progress. And I strongly disagree with that. I'm more a believer of, let's say, Native American beliefs that humanity has built and collapsed multiple times. I think this is clear by things like the pyramids. How else do you explain them? I checked out a book on the pyramids not too long ago, and the amount of information there and the numbers that they use to build these pyramids are just incredible. And I'm also a big believer in it could not be done today. Number one, in resources in the area, and number two, in just design and engineering and then actually building the damn thing. So that was very interesting news coming out of Cairo, Egypt this last week. All right, and one more alien news story for you this week. Attention, space chickens. The WikiLeaks debacle is back on. Yeah, Bob, it is, isn't it? I think this is one of the funniest things. And governments are so funny how many secrets they keep. And apparently, WikiLeaks somehow got a hold of all sorts of documents and stuff that I haven't even looked through to see what's in there because I'll just use my imagination things. It's like 100,000 pages or something ridiculous like that. But apparently this one guy decided to just raise everybody's hackles and release all government secrets publicly, which is a huge problem for politicians and people within the government. Don't keep secrets is probably a better way to go unless you really got to. But apparently there's a bunch of stuff in this last release that it pissed everybody off and just stop talking shit about each other, and then WikiLeaks has nothing to release. But apparently there will be more WikiLeaks releases. Sarah Palin, of course, wants the head of WikiLeaks to be treated like Al-Qaeda, which means I guess we have to start another war that'll go on for almost a decade and won't catch him. So, freaking hilarious in my book. And really, does this affect any of us? No, we all know they lie nonstop, and it's kind of funny to hear their lies being aired. It's just frustrating that they have to do it 100,000 pages at a time, right? Anyway, that's the alien news, Space Chickens. Thanks for showing up again, Bob McAlien. Much appreciated, and we'll be right back.
This is Alien Addictions on Party 93.4.
What is up, Space Chickens? Welcome back to Alien Addictions. I'm Alienphotog, and you're stuck here listening to me for a little while, it sounds like. Hope everybody's doing good tonight, and thank you very much for listening. I sincerely want to thank everybody for that. It means the world to me. And real quickly, while you're listening, if you're anywhere near a computer, or if you're not, next time you're there, swing by our website, www.alienaddictions.com. Very cool website, kind of like a Facebook for people who like aliens. We've got over 500 members there, and it's a great place to come share your stories or just learn about this topic, or if you want to ask a question of me or anybody else, that's the place to do it, alienaddictions.com. And the reason why I'm sitting here doing this right now, and I've spent an incredible amount of time, I'd hate to see the number of hours that I put into this, as it's pretty much entirely volunteer. I've earned a couple bucks off AdSense, literally a couple. The reason why I really began doing this was initially to get some of this off my chest. I felt alone as an abductee. For a while, I was really embarrassed about it. For a while, I didn't know what to think about it. For a while, I didn't know what to think about anything. When this got really intense, about a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I started posting videos to YouTube of UFOs I was seeing, which got a good response, and eventually I decided to start talking and masked my voice at first. I can't believe I did that. I was so paranoid in the beginning about being found out who I was. I guess found by agencies or whatever that want to find alien abductees, I guess is what I was worried about. And a lot of people that I've talked to are. But what I found over a little bit of time was the exact opposite of what I thought I would find. I knew I would find another couple abductees, a couple people to swap stories with, but the number of them I found was absolutely staggering. I've lost count, but long ago, I lost count of how many emails I received from all around the world. I mean, everywhere. Our website alone, for instance, got visits from over 90 countries within the last month. But it's been thousands of emails. At least thousands. I'm sure it's not 10,000, but thousands of emails from all over the world of people. Pretty much everybody just wants to tell somebody else what they saw. Or they want to say thanks for speaking openly about what's happened to me. And that was the opposite of what I expected to receive.